Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, Divinely Transformed. My name is Lisa, and whether you're new or returning, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome to Gemini's rest of the month of March's reading for 2022. You could have Gemini anywhere in your chart, and cross-watchers, of course, are always welcome. So thank y'all for being here. I hope you're well. Also keep in mind before I get started with the reading that this is a general public reading, so some, none, or all of it may apply to your situation, so please just take what resonates and leave the rest. Also keep in mind that time is fluid and not linear, which means that for each individual person watching, that means this could have already happened, this could be happening right now, or this could be happening in the future. And also keep in mind that everyone has the free will to change any outcome of any reading at any time for any reason. And then you're subject to karma or blessings after you make these free will choices to change the outcome of readings accordingly. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already said my prayers and shuffled off camera, so we're going to go ahead and get started. What does Gemini and their cross-watchers need to know for the rest of the month of March 2022? Please and thank you. What does Gemini and their cross-watchers need to know for the rest of the month of March? Oh my. I'm not taking 10 cards. Well, it might have been 7. But I'm still not taking that many. Not from this deck. This deck is too big. Well, Ace of Swords, this came out twice. So there is a communication problem between two people, or this is just a big fucking lie. Someone might have a wonderful new idea that they're not following up on. And they're allowing bumps in the road to hinder their progress. What's this Ace of Swords in reverse about, Holy Spirit, for Gemini and their cross-watchers? We have solutions in the reverse, which is temperance. So there is a lie that there's no solutions in a situation. Success that comes from objective compromise. Well, there is no success because it's in the reverse, because there's no compromise. There is a lack of compromise here. There is no self-control and patience. This person doesn't have self-control or patience. This Sagittarius in the reverse. This is someone who does not forgive, and they're not a healing person. This is a very toxic person who lies all the time. They're crazy, they're unbalanced, they're chaotic, they're impatient. It's about the 5th house of Leo: romance, children, pets, creativity, matters of the heart, and risk-taking in the reverse. So please clarify this. Thank you. We got the High Priestess here. Pisces energy. Someone has powerful psychic insights. Someone needs to reflect and meditate that provides valuable information. It's time to be at peace. Got the 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, the 3 of Swords in reverse, and the Star in reverse. Well, the lie is this marriage, this family situation, because there's nothing to be grateful for. This is a miserable marriage. There's financial issues and blocks, and the family life is not rewarding here. Then we've got the 3 of Swords here. There's lies within a marriage. And this karmic energy that lacks self-control and patience and compromise, that doesn't forgive and heal anybody or anything, they don't release the past. They have trouble with that. So anything that anybody has ever done, this person keeps track and tally of it. Well, you did this and you did that and you did this and that son of a bitch did all that and blah, blah, blah. And they're not growing from the situation at all. Time's not healing their wounds because it's making their wounds fester here. Usually I read the Three of Swords reverse differently, but not when it's this deck. Nuh-uh. So this person is very unforgiving. They remember everything. This is a karmic energy. And especially within this marriage. They're very petty within this marriage. Clarifying the High Priestess is the Star in reverse. This marriage is not a dream come true. Somebody's not believing in themselves that they can end this difficult situation. That's the secret. The secret is, the High Priestess is the card of secrets. What's the secret? That someone needs to heal. Someone needs to gain confidence in themselves. Someone needs to gain confidence to end this situation. Because someone is not standing up for what they believe in. They don't have confidence. They're not claiming their personal power here. Clarifying the Seven of Wands is the Nine of Wands. This is someone who is very annoyed, but you need to stay determined and move forward here. It's time to be prepared for any possibility. But you have to stand up for what you believe in and claim your personal power back to you. Holy Spirit, please clarify this Ace of Swords in reverse with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Tell me more about the lies in this marriage, in this family situation. We got the Nine of Wands and the Three of Wands. Nine of Wands is here twice. Someone's very annoyed about someone's planning for the future here. The karmic energy has an impenetrable secret. And we have another energy here elevating. So that's a masculine energy. What's this Nine of Wands and Three of Wands? Who's waiting? Ten of Cups reversed. Someone's annoyed with being very unhappy within this marriage here. There is a lack of contentment, a lack of happiness within this home and family. What's this Three of Wands about? The Five of Wands. There's conflict, there's competition, there's chaos, there's jealousy, there's fighting, there's drama when it comes to someone's plans here. What's this Three of Wands? King of Wands with Death in reverse. So we got a King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy in the reverse. Unable to end this marriage here that obviously has no longevity, that there is so much arguments and fights and drama and arguments and all that bullshit. Nothing's getting resolved. Everything's going round and round, and nothing's changing here. So there's a lot of lies in this marriage. King of Wands, you need to stay determined and move forward. You're stuck. It's time to plan for your future instead of resisting the change. Because when you resist change, everything stays the same. Please clarify solutions and the Three of Swords in reverse. Please clarify Temperance and the Three of Swords in the reverse. Wow. Well, this karmic energy is very low vibrations here. So this is the karmic feminine. We got the Empress in the reverse here. That's who is clarifying this Temperance in the reverse. Someone who is very chaotic. Someone who is very impatient, unforgiving. There's no compromise with this person. They're very unhealed. They're very controlling. They're not fertile. They're not fruitful. They are not peaceful. They are full of chaos and rage because this Empress in reverse cannot release the past. This is a wife and mother, but they're very codependent, manipulative, extremely needy, especially in the ways of emotionally and financially. And this is someone who is used to getting everything that they want by being a psycho. This is someone who is unnurturing, uncaring. They are abusive and neglectful towards their children, towards their partner. Everything's all about me, 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 me. What are you going to give me? What are you going to do for me? What? Me, 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 me. And this is an actual decision that is made by the Empress in the reverse. These decisions, these conscious decisions that the Empress in reverse has made, conscious decisions to not heal, to not release the past, to be unforgiving, to be impatient, and lack the self-control, to not grow, to not change. This is a conscious decision of the Empress in the reverse to be this way, to stay the same, be stuck, stay stuck, and be mean and hateful and depressed and at the same time. This karmic feminine is absolutely fucking miserable. They're hateful, they're vindictive, they want to win at all costs, they manipulate everyone with this Five of Swords. They want to know everything, and they acquire wisdom however they see fit. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they don't care. This karmic feminine is extremely petty. They'll do anything and everything to get what they want. As well as playing this Five of Cups role whenever the Five of Swords doesn't go their way. It's like they go back and forth between mean, vindictive, hateful, manipulative, to being sad, depressed, remorseful, guilty. It's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's either mean or depressed, mean or depressed, mean or depressed. And really, both of it is extremely low vibrational energy. And it's a miserable life. It really is. Guess what weighs heavy on the karmic feminine? The fucking truth. The karmic feminine hates the truth because all they do is lie, right? We got the Ace of Swords in their fucking reverse, and now we got the Ace of Swords with the Ten of Wands. It is a fucking burden. A burden for this karmic feminine to speak the truth, to be exposed to the truth. And it especially burdens this karmic feminine the more that their husband knows about the shit that they're doing behind their back. It is a burden. This karmic feminine absolutely hates having the truth exposed because all they do is lie. Please clarify the High Priestess and the Star in reverse. Aquarius and Pisces energy. We've got a Pisces that is ascended, who's a High Priestess, who's protected by angels, who's a tarot reader, a spiritual practitioner. They have self-value, they have self-worth, they have money, they have possessions, they feel good about their body. While this Star in reverse, this Aquarius person, they're afraid to transform here with this Death in the reverse. There's something about a lack of hope or faith in something a High Priestess is saying. Let's talk more about that, Holy Spirit. We got Temperance. So this High Priestess is very patient and kind. There's to be a reconciliation between this Pisces and this Aquarius. And this could actually be their moon signs. While feminine energy might have a Pisces moon, the masculine energy has an Aquarius moon. There is to be reconciliation between these two people, but this masculine doesn't believe in themselves to end this difficult situation, to regain the favor of those that they have offended, which is this High Priestess here. For ghosting them for no reason, just because they're stuck in this karmic marriage that's full of lies and bullshit and fights and all that. Temperance is Sagittarius. This is someone who is very patient, kind, forgiving, willing to work out compromises. But this Aquarian person lacks the hope or the faith to heal this situation here. Why? The Hermit in reverse. So we got Virgo on the board here. They're not spiritually expanding and transforming here. They're spiritually stuck. They're lonely, they're isolated, and they feel isolated against their will here. This Aquarius spends way too much time alone, and they hate it. And their spiritual progress is stuck. Why? Why is the Hermit in reverse? The Eight of Pentacles in reverse, because they're not working on their spirituality here. They're not praying, they're not meditating. They're not healing, they're not doing anything here. They've just stopped. Why? Because they're afraid. The Moon. They're afraid of their karmic partner. They're afraid. They're afraid to spiritually progress here. Why? Cancer energy is here. This pile has more major arcanas than anything else. The only major arcana that's not here is the fucking Eight of Pentacles reversed. All these others are major arcanas. In this stack, we have major arcanas: Pisces, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Cancer. What's with this fear? The Devil in reverse. This Aquarius is afraid of turning their back on the devil, their wife, their spouse, their karmic. This Aquarius has been seduced and has had a downfall because they're not doing the spiritual work. They're not doing the shadow work on themselves. And they're listening to this karmic feminine who is injecting all of their fears into them and is allowing this karmic to project all their shit onto them to destroy them. And that's them, the Emperor. Top of the deck is the Page of Swords in reverse. So who's the Emperor watching? Who's the Emperor watching and stalking and spying on? Someone that they're attracted to, that they work with the Three of Pentacles. This High Priestess could have a platform, you know, like, yeah, Ace of Pentacles here too. And we got the Nine of Swords here. So this tarot reader, they could have their own platform on whatever platform they have on the internet. This Emperor watches them. They're attracted to them with the Ace of Wands here. They want to offer them the Ace of Pentacles as well, which is a passionate relationship, but they're stuck in their head about it. Nine of Swords. They're full of anxiety. They're not sleeping. They're overthinking things over and over and over again every single day. And that's what this Emperor does. They watch, they stalk, they spy, they observe, and they're silent. And they don't say anything because this Page of Swords is in the reverse. They're not talking to this High Priestess. There is no communication between them. This Emperor's not doing the work on themselves because they're too scared of their fucking karmic to do anything. And not only that, but your environments are most likely not conducive for doing the spiritual work on yourself, because these karmics know that if they give you the time to rest and heal and meditate, that you're going to get the strength and the confidence to walk away. So they're not going to give you any peaceful quiet or anything. It's always going to be noises and disturbances and fights and chaos and just disturbance, distractions to keep you off your path. You cannot heal in the environment you got sick in. You can only do it to a point. But then there isn't anything else that you can do until you fucking leave that environment. It's just the truth. Please clarify the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. Ace of Cups in reverse. The bottom of the deck is the Queen of Swords in the reverse. This karmic energy is hell-bent on keeping you blocked from this new love. This karmic feminine is very annoyed and angry that you want to rejuvenate love elsewhere, Emperor. This Queen of Swords is in the reverse because they're a fucking liar. They're a manipulator. They're not fair. They're not balanced. And they have no love within them. None. They don't love themselves. They don't love their children. They don't love you. They don't want to see you move forward. Yeah, they don't want you to free yourself with this Eight of Swords in the reverse. They want to keep you stuck there, trapped and enslaved. That is their wish fulfillment. I'm serious. This karmic feminine's wish fulfillment is your unhappiness. While your wish fulfillment is freedom. You want freedom and happiness? You got to get away from this karmic. It's just the truth of it. Please clarify the Seven of Wands reverse. Queen of Wands reversed. You have to stand up to this karmic feminine. The Queen of Swords in reverse is someone who is not very smart. They're very manipulative and they lie. They are not professional at all. They're very sharp with everything that they say. They're very deep and they're hurtful and they're cutting. The Queen of Wands in reverse is someone who is very angry, vindictive. They're abusive. They're sexually promiscuous. And they are a prostitute. Someone who is mean and angry and impulsive. They cannot control their behavioral urges. They cannot control their emotions. They cannot control their sexual energy at all. They're not loving at all. They're not kind. They're not stable. They're not safe. They're not dependable. They're not loyal. And they have chaos within them and all around them. And then we have the King of Swords in reverse. That's you, Aquarius, Gemini. I don't see any Gemini cards, but I do see Aquarius. But we got Aquarius, we got Gemini. You don't see this karmic feminine clearly, which puts you in a position where you're not victorious. The King of Swords knows what they need to do, and they do it. They got the King and the Queen of Swords both in reverse, so y'all lie to each other. You don't communicate well with each other, and when you do, you just fight. When are you going to stand up for yourself? When are you going to stop fighting with this person? And these fights aren't even about different shit. It's about the same shit every time. Stupid shit. It always keeps coming up and it's always unresolved. It's like you're fighting 5 or 6 days out of the week with this person. Because they want you. They want your energy, your time, your love, your attention, your money, your devotion. If they can't get any of that shit, they're going to behave very badly and get a rise out of you. The longer you keep feeding into this bullshit, the more it just keeps going round and round. Justice in the reverse. Not standing up for yourself against this karmic feminine prostitute is not giving you any justice. Fighting with this person. Not blocking them. Keeping them in your life in any way, shape, or form. It's injustice. It's a divorce waiting to happen. So when is it going to happen? It's been overdue here. Got the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Wands together. So Emperor, as soon as you do something new and take a new direction in life, you will be victorious. You will have longevity. You will have public recognition and success. And you will be protected against sicknesses and injuries. But only if you're loyal and pledge your allegiance to your divine counterpart here. To be friends with them, to reconcile with them, to work with them. You can't do both. This karmic feminine will never allow it, and you know it. They will always be a distraction for you to keep you away from friendship, reconciliation, and the mission that you have with your divine counterpart, Emperor. You need to say something. You need to take action. You need to communicate. Without communication, you stay stuck. When you do something new, you will have victory, public success, and public recognition. What's this Page of Pentacles and Six of Wands? Four of Cups reversed. Yeah, this is coming back to this missed opportunity with your divine counterpart here to heal the situation. But there's been no reconciliation here yet because there hasn't been any communication. Holy Spirit, please clarify. We got the Nine of Pentacles. What else does Gemini and their cross watchers need to know about this Nine of Pentacles? Nine of Cups reversed. So we have two nines that come out together. One's in the upright, one's in the reverse. We've got someone that's independent and self-sufficient financially, but they're unhappy. They're disappointed. What's this Nine of Cups in reverse about? Because of Seven of Cups. Are disappointed because someone has options here. Who's this Nine of Pentacles? We got the Seven of Swords in reverse. We got 2 9s and 2 7s, one in the upright, one in the reverse. This is extremely interesting that they're coming out of this way. They're coming out like this. Someone who is financially independent, stable, and solid, their self-made person is disappointed here. And then we've got these 2 7s here. This is having options and being confused about these options. And then we got the 7 of Swords in the reverse. So the 7 of Swords is the exposure of lying, theft, deception, and trickery. What's the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords reversed about? 6 of Swords reversed. This karmic feminine is using confusion spell work against you to keep you returning, Emperor. And they lie about the shit that's been exposed. They will lie till the day that they die. Who's this 9 of Pentacles? Holy Spirit, please clarify this 9 of Pentacles. The Fool in reverse, the 2 of Wands reversed, and the 4 of Swords in the upright. Someone who was foolish, made a bad decision, is just resting and meditating on their bad decision. So this 9 of Pentacles person is the Fool in reverse, Aries, Aquarius energy. So that's you. This is the masculine energy in this 9 of Pentacles energy. But they're very foolish because they've made bad choices. And they're resting and meditating and thinking about those choices that they've made here. Please clarify this 2 of Wands reversed. And they're very unhappy about the choices that they've made. They're very dissatisfied, low vibrational. Could be alcohol issues. We got the 9 of Wands reversed with the 8 of Swords. High Priestess reversed. The 3 of Wands reversed. The Knight of Pentacles in the upright. The 9 of Swords in the upright. And the King of Cups in the reverse. So, masculine energy, you need to release being entrapped. You need to surrender it. Surrender to the entrapment by freeing yourself. I don't know how much clearer it can get. You're not following your intuition. You're not planning for the future here. With this High Priestess in reverse, the 3 of Wands in reverse. And for a very long time, with this 9 of Pentacles here, you have been in this 9 of Swords energy. Overthinking, full of anxiety, not being able to sleep, not being able to focus, rest, meditate, or any of that. And then we have the King of Cups in the reverse. Because you are in love with someone and you are not communicating it. King of Cups in the reverse. This is what you're thinking about all the time. These unsaid feelings that you have for your divine counterpart here. And look what you did. You released your divine counterpart, the sunshine in your life, the one who illuminates and who is happy, who is a leader, who is bold, who just shines really brightly. You released your happiness. And you're just kind of fucking wallowing in this shit. And you're extremely unhappy. And you're suppressing your love for someone, and you've been doing it for a long time. You have released the sunshine in your life because of your fears. Because of chaos, conflict, competition, and drama and jealousy of this karmic Cancerian feminine projecting their fears onto you. You're afraid of love. You're afraid of real unconditional love here. So you stay with what's familiar. And what is familiar is being used and abused and taken advantage of. You're trying too hard with the wrong person. This fucking person is dogging you out, making fun of you, using you, taking advantage of you financially, sexually, physically, emotionally, spiritually. This karmic feminine is taking advantage of you in every way, shape, and form possible, keeping you afraid of love. You are afraid to open your heart to be vulnerable. And this is with someone that you can trust. The person that you can't trust is the person that you're living with, that you're listening to, that's pumping their fears and anxieties into you. And you're keeping the person that you can love and trust out in the cold. What kind of fucked up shit is that? When you're living with the enemy and you're pushing away your best and closest ally to stay comfortable. What are you willing to go through to be comfortable? What kind of misery? What kind of burdens are you willing to take on to keep your comfortability of things just staying the same? How far will you let the universe break you of that? You should not be afraid of love. Ever. And if you are, then your life is just miserable. That's something you have to heal within yourself, is this fear of love. True, divine, peaceful, unconditional love that always flows and has no end. You're afraid of it because you've got abandonment issues. You leave people that love you before they can leave you. And then you stay stuck with toxic people that don't give two shits about you. And just stay in situations with them just to fight. And stay trapped and blocked and stuck. Because it's comfortable. It's all you know. You're used to all of this shit. Which is It's called conditioning. You've been conditioned to suppress love and keep fighting. In the end, what are you really fighting for? You're not fighting for your freedom. Your freedom is your wish fulfillment here, but you're not fighting for that. You're just fighting to be heard in a karmic toxic marriage that you'll never be heard in. This karmic doesn't know how to compromise. They don't know how to let anything go. They don't know how to forgive. They'll throw anything and everything back in your face. Please tell me more about the Emperor and the High Priestess. Holy Spirit. King of Wands. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Very attracted to the High Priestess, but can't offer them anything. No stability. No commitment. They want to, but they're not doing it. They want to collaborate. Three of Pentacles here. Three of Pentacles came out twice. Y'all work together. King of Swords. King of Wands, King of Swords. Aries. Aquarius. Gemini. Sagittarius. Is in this masculine's chart very heavily, as well as Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Heavy on the Cancer. We've got all four kings out here and the Emperor. And there's two kings that are in the reverse. The King of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Cards of love and commitment. Please tell me more about the King of Wands, King of Swords, and this Three of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Swords. It's been established that you are overgiving. You need to take action here. What's this Knight of Swords about? The world. Wrapping up karmic cycles of karmic completion of cycles here. All the fixed signs are here. Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. And you got to wrap up this karmic cycle of being the Page of Swords in the reverse and take action. You cannot continue. We got the Page of Swords in reverse twice. You cannot continue to watch, stalk, and spy on your divine counterpart and be in no communication with them. It's time for you to wrap up this cycle of no communication and watching and stalking and spying and taking charge, taking action, and actually communicating here swiftly. What's this Knight of Swords about? What's the Knight of Swords want to say? This is the King of Swords taking action. What's the Knight of Swords they want to say? They want to invest. Seven of Pentacles. Invest in what? What's the Knight of Swords want to do? What's the Knight of Swords want to invest in? Being an Emperor. Yeah. So when you're done, whenever you decide that you're done overgiving to this toxic feminine karmic, You need to take action to invest in learning how to be the Emperor and the upright here. It's all here. Six of Pentacles is overgiving. Got the Knight of Swords here. The King of Swords has taken action to do what? Seven of Swords, or Seven of Pentacles, to invest in. To revisit what it takes to be an emperor here. How do you invest in being an emperor? Take your power back. You need to do it quickly. What is taking your power back? Freeing yourself. Not living in fear. Opening up and being emotionally vulnerable to this person that you love. You can trust them. All their cards are coming up in the upright. They're not a karmic. This is someone that you can work with, build a life with, that you can love and work with and share a life with. But you got to be willing to put in the investment into being an emperor. Someone who takes charge of their situation. Who lets their no mean no and their yes mean yes. Who doesn't let just shit happen to them. Doesn't let people treat them any old way. This is someone who is in charge, has power and authority. They're authentic. And they're in their integrity here. They protect their children and their divine counterpart. So when are you going to invest in the title of divine masculine? When? There is a heavy responsibility on your soul for this sacred union that you've been ignoring because you have children with someone else. So when are you going to be a man? Graduate from the King of Wands to the King of Swords to the fucking Emperor. Wanting to take charge and actually taking charge of your life are two separate things. You cannot manifest the life of your dreams and then be passive and not take action. You just can't. The Emperor takes action. They're in charge. They're in tune. Their body, their mind and their heart are aligned when you're the Emperor in the upright. You handle all 3D matters and all spiritual matters like a boss. Holy Spirit, what else does Gemini and their cross watchers need to know? Yeah, this behavior needs to end. All of this fighting, this competition, this holding your feelings in, being worried and full of anxiety and not sleeping, and these trust issues, these abandonment issues that you have, it needs to come to a complete end. You need to transform into the Emperor. It is scary. It is never easy. You have to do and say everything that you're afraid of doing. That's part of this journey. Let me give you an example. Oh, wow. So, let me give you an example. Whenever I was doing my shadow work, I did it within first, like everyone else does. And then it came to times that I did things that were wrong against people that I needed to ask for forgiveness for. And at the time, this was like 3 years ago or something. And I was in a karmic relationship. It wasn't a real relationship. It was just an arrangement. But this guy, he just ignored me a lot. And he kept me as an option for 5 years. But at that time, it had only been like 2.5 years. Nothing grew, nothing expanded. It was just the same old shit all the time. There was no communication. And I was deeply in love with him, and I was so attracted to him. And he was leaving me out in the cold on purpose. And I was in a very unfortunate situation because I wasn't able to work. I wasn't healthy, and I was just starting to get my health back, and I didn't have money. I didn't have very many clothes. And like, I took a pair of his boxer shorts and a t-shirt because I didn't have any shorts. I didn't have anything to sleep in to be comfortable, and I didn't have any t-shirts. So I needed something that I could go to work in because I was just starting this new job, coming back from being physically disabled. So it took quite a bit of effort and work to be able to get myself healthy enough to work. And this was like that point here. And it was like my very first job that I had following my healing and growth and elevation. And also, I had done spell work on this guy because I wanted him to love me. I would have just been happy with whatever that situation was. If he would have just told me he loved me, I would have stayed forever probably. But all I wanted was for him to love me, and he didn't. So I went to him. And I told him, I took a pair of his socks too, because I didn't have very many socks. I had a pair of socks and a pair of boxer shorts and a t-shirt. I returned them. I told him that I took these things, and I apologized. And I was scared to death. I thought it was going to be the end. But I knew I had to do this because I stole things. I did spell work on someone against their will and without their knowledge and consent. Yeah, I was a karmic too. And we all are. It's just some of us get past it while others stay stuck in it. But anyhow, I told him that I did all this, and I asked him to forgive me. Well, he never did. He just held it against me. But I can remember feeling so afraid and so terrified to tell him. I was so afraid of his reaction because I thought he was going to shut me out. Well, he didn't. But he didn't forgive me either. He just didn't really have much to say. Nothing that a blowjob wouldn't fix. Whatever. But the point is you need to do everything that you're afraid of doing to keep yourself in your integrity. You need to go to the people that you have wronged, ask for forgiveness. You need to stand up for yourself and defend yourself against people who are using you, taking advantage of you. I had another friend at this very same time. And I was living with her. And it turned out that she was a very karmic friend. She was mean as a snake to everyone else, but I couldn't figure out why she was always nice to me. And why she was always so mean to everybody else. Well, this person was an absolute criminal. I mean criminal. She was a drug dealer. She lied, stole, cheated. She was a prostitute. Like, she did it all, man. She didn't care. And I wasn't participant of her lifestyle. But because of my silence and my friendship with her, I was actually going along with it. I was protecting her and her interests, but I wasn't participating. But there was no difference. So last year, about this time, the end of February, I terminated that friendship. She was abusing an elderly man that was living with her, calling him her dad when he wasn't. And she was just using him financially and treating him like shit. And I ended the friendship and I reported her for abuse, elder abuse. And I exposed her to her closest friends as manipulating them and snaking them out of money and all kinds of shit. And I was afraid. But I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. And I haven't had contact with that woman since last year in February. And I'm so grateful. Because, like, a weight has been lifted off of me. And I was afraid to make up with my brother, and I did. Then we went into business together and it failed because he bought all the shit that he wanted me to be selling for him, but he wasn't going to help me sell it. He said that was my job because I have the channel and it was spiritual, like sage and Palo Santo and candles and crystals and just different spiritual items. He's like, well, your channel is the home for that stuff. I mean, you're just selling products that you use all the time. And he didn't want to help me. And looking at it from a practical perspective here, logical here, I have 2 jobs already because I work at the factory, I take care of my mom, and then I have my YouTube channel that I was selling my brother's products on. And what was my brother doing in the meantime? Well, he was babysitting his friend's kid for a low amount of hours in a week and on disability, and he had more free time than I did. I had so much on my plate already, and whenever I said to him, look, this isn't working, I need some help with advertising, I need some help with promoting the products, anything like that, he's like, no, you said that you were going to do it, so you're going to do it. And I was like, I'm not your fucking slave. And I am fucking done. And I was. I ended the business. I used the sage sticks and the Palo Santo sticks that I still had here as my payment for promoting products that never sold. So it's just whatever. But I was afraid to tell my brother no. That I wasn't going to be his slave while he sits on his ass and does a whole lot of whatever, and I work over 50 hours a week. Then he had the nerve to get mad at me because I was sick with pneumonia for 5 weeks, and for 2 weeks, I wasn't even on my channel. This was back in September of 2021. I was sick for 5 weeks, but I wasn't doing any videos for 2 weeks because I was sick. But I was still working, but I was fucking sicker than a dog. I had pneumonia. And he was mad at me for being sick and not promoting the products while I was sick. He's like, well, your life is all about that job up at the factory because it takes up so much of my time. Of course it's going to be like a big part of my life. But looking at the practical standpoint, he had more time than I did and was very unwilling to help. So I'm like, fuck that. I ain't doing it. And I really didn't want to do it right after we just made up again for I don't know how many times. But I did. But I was less afraid of doing it that time because I'd already been comfortable in making these types of decisions. So it's 1:11 p.m. Angel number 111. So check out the link in the description box below for the angel numbers, as it always is. But the more you keep making decisions that you know are good decisions that you're afraid to make, the more comfortable you get in them. The easier it gets. You're blocking out your best friends and your family members because there's something really wrong there. And you're doing what you know is right. Standing up for truth and justice and love. And if your efforts are not reciprocated with someone, self-care needs to happen and you need to be cut the fuck out of your life. It got to the point where I'd cut everybody out of my life, the people that I loved and cared for the most, because I had to. They were keeping me stuck, trapped, blocked, and miserable, and controlling me. I don't like that, so I didn't do it. I was a people pleaser. All I wanted was for people to like me and love me. I made a lot of bad decisions. Decisions that went against myself because of how I felt about others. I was giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving to selfish people who did nothing but take, to prove myself, to show my loyalty and my devotion. And what I was doing is I was running myself dry. When you give, you must also receive back something that isn't negative. It needs to be reciprocated. Because when you give to someone who takes, it hurts. Because all they do is take from you. And they don't give anything to you. They're not nurturing you. And all they want is what you're giving. That karmic masculine let me move in with him because I didn't have anywhere else to go. I was a hardworking homeless person that didn't make a whole lot of money. And he took advantage of me. I was very generous with him when I didn't have anything to be generous with. I nurtured him and I cared for him and I respected him and I loved him and I cared for him. And I didn't get any of that back. The only time I got any kind of attention is whenever he wanted to have sex, and that was about it. There was very little communication about anything. We didn't sleep together. We lived in the same house in two different corners of the house, and we lived our separate lives. And we lived like that for over a year and a half. And the longer I was there, the more it kept hurting me to the point where I just felt so empty because I didn't have anything else to give. He was just taking everything from me. He was taking my energy and my essence, and he was feeding off of my energy energetically and keeping me stuck, bound, trapped, and blocked. He ignored me all the time. And whenever I wanted to move, I called the county office to get some help with rental assistance. They wanted to talk to him. I told him what was going on, sort of. I said, well, I had a roommate who was very rude, and we weren't getting along, and there was really no communication, and I need to leave, but the job that I had wasn't enough to sustain myself to pay rent, like in full by myself. So I needed some help. So they needed to talk to him. Well, it turns out that the lady who was handling my case was his ex-sister-in-law. And the minute that he talked to her, She refused to take any of my calls, and I never saw her again. I don't know what he said, but he kept me from moving. He kept me from getting rental assistance to move because he wanted me to continue to stay there, stuck, trapped, and blocked, and unhappy and unfulfilled in that situation. He wanted to keep using me and taking advantage of me for the $400 a month that I had put towards the rent of that big old house every month, and for whatever sex he could get out of me. He was really surprised when I got myself a second job that turned out to be my main job that was able to afford me to be able to move out within 5 weeks. And I did. 5 weeks after I got hired, I moved into my own place. For the first time ever in my life, I live alone. I take care of myself. I pay my own bills. And I work 58 hours a week between 2 jobs, and then these videos are more. I put in so much of my time to work on my mission, to work on my finances, to work on myself. It was not easy getting here. It was not comfortable to tell people the truth about the shit that I'd done that was wrong. It was not comfortable to ask for forgiveness. It was not comfortable to demand my independence and get it. It wasn't easy. But I had help. I just rested all my fears with God and said, I'll do whatever you want me to. But it hurt, man. It hurt. But it was the best decisions I ever made in my life. Because as human, we're gonna make errors. We're gonna do things that are wrong from time to time. We're gonna say a lie. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Steal something. Whatever. Shit happens. It's what we do as humans. But when you don't take accountability for yourself and you keep hiding your lies, keeping secrets, it doesn't work out well for you. When you expose your own secrets, things get better in the future. But it's a process and it takes time. Last year in July, I rented a hotel room because I was told not to go back home that weekend. And I spent 2 nights in a hotel room praying, seeking God, praying for an escape from that karmic masculine's home. Because I just wanted freedom. I wanted to be able to live by myself. I wanted to be away from him and all the reminders of how shitty he treated me, including the environment. When I was there, I did quite a bit of healing. Quite a bit. Because he left me alone a lot. And he didn't really fight with me too much. He just mostly ignored me most of the time. So I was able to do a lot of the healing while I was there. It was mostly a peaceful environment to do so in. But I can only get to a certain point because the environment reminded me of him, because it was his house. When you're looking at the same old familiar things, they have memories attached to them. And when you're healing from painful memories and you're in an environment that have painful memories attached to them, you're not going to be able to heal completely in that sick environment where you made all of those memories, good and bad. So last July, I was in this hotel room praying for escape and independence. It was like I went into a portal, and 3 weeks later, I was gung-ho on applying for a job that I never wanted to work. I never wanted anything to do with working at a factory. I called it man's work. It wasn't for me. But one day I just got this fixed idea in my head, and I'm like, I'm going to apply. I don't know if I can physically do it, but I'm going to do it. I need to, I have to, and I'm going to. And that was that. 5 weeks later, I had my own place. So within 2 months of praying to God for an escape, I had my escape right in the bag. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of hustling. It was very uncomfortable. And it was not enjoyable, but the results were. 122 on the counter, so. So I got my freedom, and I started sticking up for myself, not allowing people to control me. If people were codependent on me in any way, I've been blocking them. Because I'm a recovering codependent who is now independent. I'm a nice and caring person. I'm an empath. I want to love and help people the best that I can do. But when it's not appreciated, when it's needed and expected, it ain't fucking happening. Because it's just a drain on my time and my energy and myself, my health especially. I've given to people so much in the past that it literally almost brought me to the brink of death more than once. You can give and give and give and give and give until you have nothing left to give. You really can. From one overgiver to another. I understand the pain that you're in and what you're going through. I understand that you don't want to leave this karmic feminine because you spent so much time and energy and money and investment and emotions, and you have children together. I get this. I do. But what I'm saying here is when you're giving and you're not receiving, and you keep giving to someone who is just taking only, and they only give you bullshit and anxiety and stress and depression and anger and resentment to pay you with, that is not a relationship to continue to invest in. It will eventually kill you if you let it. Because these people will take until you have nothing left to give. To have no life left within you to do anything. I've overgiven for so many people. It has brought me to a point of physical weakness and physical disability. No joke. I didn't have any concept of self-preservation. I had to learn it. I didn't know what boundaries were. I had to learn it. I just let people do whatever they wanted to me. I didn't know how to stop it or control it or anything. I just always felt like I was everybody's victim. Well, no more. I am not a victim. I am a survivor. Everybody I've ever known in my life that I've loved has hurt and abused me in some way. On purpose. Their choice. And I was conditioned to keep the abuse perpetuated and silent. I was conditioned to accept everything the way that it was. I was conditioned to behave in a way that told me that I didn't matter. Everyone else mattered more because I was giving people my last money. I was giving people like my last bit of energy. I was in pain and sick and helping people and doing this and that and the other, just being used and abused and taken advantage of in every way, shape, and form. And I showed up for these fuckers more than I didn't. Boyfriends, husbands, lovers, friends, family members. It didn't matter. Anyone that I've ever known in my life, no matter how I've known them, it was a toxic, codependent relationship. There was always some sort of a need there. I needed something from them. They needed something from me. And we used each other. What we need to do is get focused on our independence so we can do what we need for ourselves and look to others to help elevate us, to celebrate with them, not need them. People aren't tools, but we use people like tools. I was a karmic feminine at one time. But I've learned my karmic lessons. And one of them is overgiving. 6 of Pentacles reversed. I can't find it. But that was my biggest lesson I had to learn. Is that I felt more for others than they felt for me. I would do more for others than they would ever do for me. When I needed something, I didn't get much or anything. I was usually ignored, leaving me to deal with my problem on my own. And then by some miracle, something happens and comes through, and I got some sort of assistance, but it wasn't from the people that kept demanding it from me. When you give, you make sure you receive good things back. If you're not, what is there to invest in? Do you know how scary it is to walk away from anyone you've ever loved? It's fucking terrifying. But if you know you're not being treated right, you know you're doing the right thing, you won't regret it. I promise. You will regret not doing anything about it, though. You will regret staying party to abuse and neglect and protecting these abusers. You will regret not making good choices for your own life if you let other people run it and control you. Always had a hard time supporting myself financially. I wanted someone else to take care of me. And for years, I was in a series of shitty relationships with people because I really didn't want to work. I just wanted to have kids, which I did, and make the best of it. I wanted someone who would love me and protect me and do whatever I wanted. I was very demanding, especially when I had my children. I was a very unfit mother whenever I had my children. I wasn't there for them like I should have been. I wasn't emotionally available for my children the way I should have been. Why? Because I was codependent and I was miserable. I needed this. I needed that. I had all these needs that weren't met. Looking to other people to meet my needs. And most of them were financial needs. I could have done a lot of this shit myself, but I chose to sit back and order other people around. Well, that shit didn't work. Not at all. I ended up losing my kids over it. Not that I really did anything wrong. It's just that I couldn't do anything for myself. I couldn't take care of myself. So if I couldn't take care of myself, I couldn't take care of my kids. It was just unfit. I wasn't abusive to my kids, but I wasn't emotionally there for them. Because I was so preoccupied with myself and my problems in my own life. And getting used and abused and taken advantage of by everybody in my life. So, this was me. Very clingy, very needy, very codependent. Most of the problems that I had were were problems that could be handled financially if I would just ever be motivated to keep a job. I kept going around and round and round in these karmic cycles with all these new and different people, and everything was turning out the same. It really was. Same old shit, different day, new places, new faces. Then I realized the problem was me, because I needed to stop fucking being lazy and start taking care of my own self. Right? Then by the time that happened, my health was so poor and I was losing my mobility that I had to get myself healthy in order to be able to go and get and keep a job. That took 2 years to come back from disability. Completely. I made the decision in January of 2019 to get healthy so I could work. I had a job by November. It was extremely difficult. It didn't last long either. I had two other jobs after that. The third job lasted for like a year. And it was hard work. I only made $8 an hour, but I was a dishwasher and I was happy doing it. I loved what I did. Loved working there. I just only made about 30 hours a week, $8 an hour. That didn't go very far. But the point is that one of my main lessons to overcome was codependency and overgiving. I needed to stop giving to people who expected it and took advantage of it, and start helping people that actually want it and appreciate it. So that's how this channel actually became born. It's my way of being able to help those who want the help, not to be forcing it down people's throats. You want it, come get it, it's here. If you don't, whatever. I have this burning need and desire to always be doing something to help people. And this is the only thing that I have found that I can do that I'm not overgiving. I'm not forcing anything down anyone's throat. It's here if you want it. And I'm actually helping people around the world. What a humbling experience that is for someone that's always wanted to just help people. And in the short time that I've had my channel, since December of 2019, I touched many hearts and lives all around the world. I've helped a lot of people. But I had to help myself first. We can't be a martyr. We have to really take care of ourselves in order to be in a position to help others. When you're doing too much for other people, they take advantage of it and they expect it. right around the time I was losing control of my daughter, because she would just run away and hit me and try to kill me multiple times. It was like I was trying to save her, man. It was just, the more she rejected me, the more I just loved her. And it was extremely codependent and very needy, but I was like, I love her so much. I want her to see how much I love her. And the more I loved her, the more she pushed me away. We had CYS involved because she kept running away. He ended up taking her away from me for my safety, which was devastating to me. I was conning CYS and telling them that she was doing better than she was, until the situation was so out of control that it couldn't be maintained. I did everything for my daughter. She never met me halfway. That hurt. She never even tried. The more I tried, the more that she didn't do. The point is nobody should ever be desperate enough in their life to lie, cheat, steal, or to protect abusers. My daughter abused me. The more she abused me, the more I protected her. You can't do that. You cannot protect abusers. I've turned in a lot of abusers in just the last year to authorities. It was difficult to do because I was conditioned to protect them by my silence. I was afraid. But I did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. You don't have to be afraid. You're going to feel it anyway. But you have to learn how to do the right thing through the fear. Let's seal this reading off with a rune for y'all Gemini and cross watchers. What is the final guidance for Gemini and cross watchers at this time? Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. Thurisaz and I was in the reverse. Both of them. Resisting struggle and conflict to resist change. So basically, this is someone who doesn't fight with people, doesn't engage in conflict to keep the status quo. Because you're afraid of change. We need to be strong, courageous, introspective, and to help us to examine and overcome our deepest fears. What are your deepest fears? What you're afraid of are the very things that you should be doing, especially if they're rooted in honesty, self-preservation, self-care, and unconditional love. We need courage and clarity of thought each time we must face risk and potential danger. This is about fearing backlash from others for taking a different path. And this is about resisting change here. So that's what you're afraid of. It's time to eliminate these fears. If you want to be happy, whole, and healthy as a soul and individual, if you want to stay miserable, you can stay like this. And if you want to be happy, you have to free yourself. You have to defend yourself. And you have to take your fucking self off of this dead ass tree and stop letting these fuckers abuse you. It's always the people that are closest to you that do the worst shit to you because you're attached to them. Release the attachment. They ain't got shit on you. And you're not hurt anymore. Stop the abuse. Stop the family traditions that are keeping you stuck and miserable. You're doing yourself a huge disservice. It's time to stop caring about what anybody thinks about your decisions. If you want to change, then you do so. If you want to be happy, whole, and healthy, sometimes that means standing alone. Or aligning yourself with someone that you know that you can love and trust. That's hard to come by. But it's unacceptable when you're ignoring the very person that supports you, that cares about you, that loves you. Whether you know each other well or not, that's just the bottom line, the truth of it. When you're suppressing emotions and communication with someone that you love and care about, to stay stuck and miserable in an unhappy life, what are you doing? You're living a fake life, wasting time, being stressed out, being miserable, being afraid, and being burdened, and fighting all the time. Life is peaceful when you're not dealing with people like that. In your everyday life. So that's what I have for y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting my channel in all the ways that you do. I really appreciate y'all being here. Sometimes these readings get a little difficult whenever I have to bring myself, my experiences, and my life into it. But that's part of my job. I've already been through it. I've already learned these lessons. Now I'm here helping y'all do it. If you want to. So have a great rest of your month, and I'll talk to y'all soon.